And here is Scream Screening's review of House at the End of the Street, hosted by my friend John Carlos McMaster of ThisCinematicLife.com.
Magic! Wow. So, House at the End of the Street follows kind of the tradition of A Nightmare on Elm Street, whereas in Nightmare on Elm Street, you never see a sign saying we're on Elm Street. You never get a sense of geography that this house is at the end of the street.
Hey, do you need a ride?
No, I'm fine. This is my driveway.
No, it's not. You just moved in on Sycamore Lane. I live next door.
You're Ryan Jacobson.
Yeah.
Your parents got killed. I'm sorry. I know that people were talking about it. What happened to Carrie Ann?
She drowned in the dam.
I do not want the two of you to be alone in his house. Can you respect that? Ryan?
Oh my God.
Is anyone out there? Alyssa!
Karen, no!
So I caught this in the middle of the afternoon. It was one of those movies where I had some time to kill. Well, what's playing? Well, this is playing. And I figured I'd be amused because Jennifer Lawrence is in it. And I like Jennifer Lawrence. And it was fun to see her in the Scream Queen mode because Oscar nominee and, you know, X-Men First Class. Didn't ever really expect to see her in a horror film. And she does a good job getting ramped up in the intensity, especially as things escalate in like the last 30 minutes. I found it believable. I felt concerned for her. If you were a fan, she spends a good majority of the last act all sweaty in a tank top and tight jeans. So it has that going for it. It also has Elizabeth Shue as the concerned mother, and she does a very good job in her role. I never would have thought from the 80s you'd see Adventures in Babysitting growing up to be the mom in Piranha, and she's now the horror mom. Who knew? The film itself, on a scale of 1 to 10, kind of falls in like the 5 zone. It plays out really well if you are maybe 12 years old and you've never seen horror movies before, and this is like your first thriller, and you've never had a twist thrown at you before. Then it might be effective. Being 31 years old, I feel like I saw the twist coming like 20 minutes into the movie. The things that worked were that, surprisingly for a horror film, there's a really strong mother and daughter dynamic, so that it does seem to care about its characters more than just scaring you. It definitely has plenty of cheap scares that will make you jump, but then you'll shake your head a second later and say, crows flying by and squawking really loud for no reason shouldn't have scared me, and shame on you for doing that to me. The things that don't work for me, I think we should be past the jittery shaky cam, and the first 2 minutes of the movie have a jittery shaky cam point of view, and I sat there thinking, there better be a context for this, because if we go to jittery shaky cam later and there's no payoff to a point of view why we're doing jittery shaky cam, then shame on you, because it's not 1999, and we're not impressed by that anymore. And thankfully, the very obvious twist justified the obnoxious, shaky, hyper-edited MTV jitteriness of it all. If you're still remotely interested in seeing this movie, let me try to sell you on the plot and let you judge for yourself. Jennifer Lawrence and her mom move into this house. Should be called House in the Woods, because it's a house in the woods, and across the yard there's a house, a murder house, and there's a son who lives there he was away, and his parents were murdered, and, you know, his sister, and gosh, don't talk to that creepy boy, you know, that murder house, he should get out of that murder house, and the whole town doesn't trust this guy that lives there, and of course Jennifer Lawrence starts hanging out with him, starts kind of liking him a little bit. And some spooks ensue from there. some considerably cheap and predictable twists ensue. If you like kind of safe PG-13 bloodless horror movies, which I totally don't, if you just want some spooks without any gore, without any genuine creativity, go check it out. It's a great way to kill 90 minutes. Sort of. So, that's my review. Bloodless PG-13 horror. Rent it.
Magic. Thank you, John. That was John Carlos McMaster with thiscinematiclife.com. Go ahead and check him on out over there. Thank you for tuning in to Scream Screenings, hosted by virtualscreams.com. Virtualscreams.com for all things horror. Go online, check us out. Our new online virtual maze is happening. Right now, it's up and running. If you have nothing better to do with your night, then have the shit scared out of you. Turn off the lights, turn up the volume, check out our maze. Death's Labyrinth. Now on virtualscreams.com. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.